Laser Bridge and T-Rock.
Well, that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, we got Xirtanul over here saying Bow and T-Rock. They've had, I think both of their races have had Bow in the T-Rock. But we'll get back to that later as both runners are on their way and going different ways with a piece of heart in Sanctuary and 20 rupees in the house.
Nothing interesting from either of these starting locations. This could be the very good makings of a trolley seed.
Yeah, keep an eye on Xirtanul's opening route. It is very unique. He does it pretty much every time, it seems like, and he's the only one that does anything like this. He'll usually do a hula hands right off the bat, and then we'll head down to like south of Hyrule. It's kind of interesting. I'm kind of like it. The open mode allows this to happen, and it's quite glorious, to be honest.
This is actually, we got a Moon Pearl right there to escape.
Wow, I actually did a seed earlier today where Moon Pearl was on the Uncle. That was pretty crazy.
That's definitely a successful hula hand glitch, as that opens up a ton of money for Xirtanul.
Yeah, a very good job, and gets 220 rupees for his troubles, so won't have to worry about any early purchases, and then depending on how the rest of the rupees go, we'll have plenty for Zora down the road. But yeah, he does the same route every time, and it's really interesting. I kind of like it.
Well, stick to your guns, because if you deviate from your flight plan, you're the one that's going to be in trouble.
And lamp on Lake Hylia Island, so that's interesting.
That's pretty vile and evil.
That is going to be interesting. So now we have a Moon Pearl already, so Dark World's not too far out of the question at this point. But, how long until we get access to the Dark World to where they could possibly get that mirror? How many Dark Rooms will we see before that? As the Bush Crabs have a full magic refill. That's pretty nice.
Critters are very generous as we get a look into Agna Cave. Just 20 rupees from that. Xirtanul opening up the dam here.
Yeah, as Zaphod does a more traditional routing, checking all the northern Hyrule and head down into Kakariko. So we'll get to see a more traditional route from Zaphod, as we definitely get that unique routing from Xirtanul.
No, Aga may not be dead. Let's not get the hype just going away just yet.
Oh, Flipper's in the dam. That kind of feels fitting. I mean, let's be honest.
That's amazing, as those poor fish are left to die drowning in their own air.
And Zaphod picking up triple bombs, so that's going to be a huge sigh of relief, as they were getting close to Kakariko with no bombs. Gets them right in the last possible check, and will not have to buy any until heading out of Kakariko, which will save them time.
Getting in a mini Trolldorn cave here, going for 5, count them, 5 locations for item.
Yes, we have a lot, as Zaphod is going into the power gloves from Xirtanul. Whew.
And a big 300 from that, so that's instant Zora right there.
And with their Houlihan, that is actually makes that Houlihan play that much better. They almost already 4 rupees away from going into Zora, which shouldn't be too hard to get, as we get our first bottle out of out of the Blind Hut. And then a piece of heart, 10 arrows, and 20 more rupees. We'll see what's behind the bombed wall.
So Xirtanul going to Hobo here, thankfully avoiding my house and blowing that up.
But we do get Blue Mail, early Blue Mail. That's really nice with just 3 hearts at this point.
That is definitely some needed defense.
Yes, indeed. And I just want to quick point out, both runners have used the same sprite all 3 races. I love it.
Sprite loyalty.
Yep, and there we go. 20 more rupees for Xirtanul on Hobo, so they have all the rupees they need. And we have Red Mail. 4 minutes and 13 seconds in, fully defense. Full, oh my gosh, Cane of Samaria.
The Cane of Samaria and well is huge.
And the mirror! What is this? What is this?
Well, we don't have Titansmiths or the Hammer yet, so Dark World is not exactly a thing just yet.
Yeah, but the nice thing is knowing where the lamp is, for Xirtanul at this point at least, Aghanim cannot be required in this seed. Well, okay, I take that back. You could still have the hammer be making it required, but the chances of that going to being required are extremely low with seeing the lamp on the island there, and then now having got the the mirror, as well as flippers, of course, and Moon Pearl.
Zap unfortunately missing the chicken clip.
Did actually no wait, I take that back. With flippers, we can actually bypass the whole thing, so we don't need. I think Aghanim is entirely dead right now.
Zap ran out of bombs, didn't have one for the bomb ball, had to go farm them, so we had to go ahead and buy some more.
Yeah, not terrible, but like I said, he was able to get that triple bomb drop, so he was able to make the purchase in a pretty decent routing style. So not terrible, but 50 rupees lost, but not bad, as we see what the sick kid has, and it's just 5 rupees.
Xirtanul with the Zora play didn't pay off either. That was just a really big ripoff. As Zaf is heading towards the library next, I'm probably going to check the maze as well.
And Carissa in chat does make a good point. Yes, if we do need to go that way, it would be required. So very, very rare. It could possibly be required. So we'll have to probably not seeing that as we get our first sword in the back of Escape. So that's 6 minutes in and we already have a sword. That's not bad at all.
Zaf completely noping out of the maze game because it was just triple bombs. So both of them restarting back at the Link's house. It looks like Xirtanul's going to go into Escape while Zaf is going to go ahead and clear out the dam area.
Yep, so we'll now get to see our runners kind of flip the other's route, and we'll get to, at this point, we're going to be seeing a lot of what we've already seen. And, interestingly enough, Zaphod will be able to go just slightly quicker through the dam because they have that mirror, which, not a huge time save, but seconds matter in these types of races.
Xirtanul grabbing that Moon Pearl, that super, super important item.
Indeed.
Picking up 20 rupees, we still got value out of it with the Moon Pearl at least.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
Looks like Xirtanul is going to go ahead and head into the basement as well. Very smart play.
Yeah, especially now that they have that sword, they have that infinite resource, they're able to kill everything, don't have to worry about bomb placements. So, really good play. Now, an interesting thing, our runners are pretty comfortable in dark rooms. I've seen them do it before, but we know where the lamp is, so, we might not see them go for that lamp for quite some time, though we will be able to get to it very soon, as soon as we either get Titan's or a hammer. They can get the lamp, but we're going to see quite a few dark rooms before we get to that point.
So interesting, Zaf going with the cape strats, and those are actually super, super strong. There's the Titan. Power glove from that.
I love seeing the Cane of Samara used in ways that it really probably really wasn't originally intended by the makers. I mean, they obviously made it so it can do damage, but with the way that this, with the randomizer works, and especially with open mode where you may not have a sword, you really get to see some awesome Cane of Samari strats. Like Blind, I love seeing Cane used on Blind.
All those years ago, the developers definitely weren't intending all the things that we do now in our randomizers.
Yeah, I doubt they're like, you know what, in 30 years we're going to see people manipulate the game a little bit and use the cane like this, so let's make sure it does damage.
Zaf, no, don't do it. Get away from my house. Oh, I hear him at the door. Oh, go. Ah!
Luckily, they have red now, so those crabs no longer do the two hearts of damage when they hit you, which that's crazy, especially with their sporadic movements.
Zaf stole my collection of twigs. Curses.
Oh, we get a Master Sword from Xirtanul, sets up the Death Warp. Very well done.
That was very, very good timing on that Death Warp. Didn't have to wait any time at all.
Yeah, agreed. And Zaphod's going to follow suit after getting those power gloves into the back of Escape, and subsequently, I'm sure, maybe not quite the front of Escape, but we'll see them head there before Eastern. Maybe not, though, because they've already been up to the uncle.
Some frustration bonks, but getting that sword definitely means those bonks are wasted now.
Indeed.
Now, interesting here, the game never forces you to actually do anything without a lamp, so this strat is really interesting.
Yeah, it's yeah, with like you said, the logic will never require you to do a dark room, and where especially for Xirtanul, they have that knowledge of where the lamp is. I mean, this is a sequence break. I'm kind of surprised that they're going after this at this point. It's because within the logic, it's not going to be anything that could open up a possible Eastern Palace yet. It could be. Did not see what it was, so might not have been anything important. But Zaphod is indeed heading to the front of Escape, so they will also get their Master Sword.
Which will be coming just in time as I finish repairing the door on my house and restoring my crowds farms.
Meanwhile, Xirtanul is finally going to make their way towards Kakariko, which 11 minutes in, finally making it to Kakariko. That is the way that the routing goes for Xirtanul. I love it. It's so different. I love seeing different routing, and they definitely have different routing.
So the crowds in the front of the house are actually designed to keep you pesky kids off my lawn, as Xirtanul is going to go ahead and check on the mushroom spot.
And for some people, they do a good job. According to Sabo Attender, they always die there. So doing a good job for some people.
Get Zap's burrito, and then we get a triple bomb, and probably a saving quit right after this. No, we're going to head back on out.
Well, Xirtanul has not been to Kakariko yet, so they still need to get all the items there, which is the mirror and Cane of Samaria and a bottle being the important ones. I guess both Mel upgrades are pretty nice.
Getting a refund on that 500 spent on Zora is huge right now too, because I'm able to use the bottle vendor right away.
Yeah, that's actually true. And you know what? I don't think Zaphod had enough rupees to check the bottle vendor. I don't remember seeing it.
No, Zappa was pretty poor up until recently, so I don't think we saw a bottle vendor check.
Yeah, as we see Zaphod painstakingly set up the Death Warp in that red mail. Took quite some time, but does a good job and can be able to use the bomb to finish it off. One more bomb, I think, should do it. That red mail coming to bite him back just for that one moment. Glad to have it otherwise, I'm sure.
That bottle is perfect timing for the sick kid, who unfortunately doesn't probably have much this scene.
It was just 5 rupees. Zaphod had already checked it for us, so yeah, it did not have anything in this seed, unfortunately.
Stole that poor kid's allowance.
Hey, you gave him some. Well, actually, no, you didn't give him anything. It was an empty bottle.
There's nothing wrong with an empty bottle. You can totally fill it with Kool-Aid.
Well, it's not going to be anything healing for the sick kid. And Wolfling, that's actually a really good point. I did not think about the fact that he had Mirror. Mirror would have been so much better for Zaphod. It's just kind of one of those things you're not used to having it so early on, and so you don't even think about it going down the road. And when those types of situations arise, you're probably just kind of muscle memory. You're used to just setting up the Death Warp, so you don't even think about it. You may have realized it right after they died and be like, oops.
Xirtanul grabbing that mirror and King of Samaria. By the way, that was the Vivi sprite from Final Fantasy IX as Zaphod's using. That's actually impossible to tell because Zaphod's in the dark right now doing the same thing Xirtanul did.
It is Luigi. He uses Luigi.
Aha, everyone has their favorites. Oh, Xirtanul with a successful chicken clip.
Does clip. It doesn't get the full clip, but gets a nice clip. So, hey, one thing that's interesting, Xirtanul already has 6 hearts compared to just the 4 to Zaphod, which is, I mean, that's quite a significant difference this early on, and that's just due to the fact that they have been to Zora and a few other locations to have picked up hearts for that. But just early differences in the routing that eventually will be changed, and as both runners catch up to what the other runner has done, as Zaphod sets up the Hoolahans to get their money for Zora, which we know was only a heart piece, or excuse me, a heart container.
Really interesting though is how they use 2 different methods for the same trick. And song that a bottle of oxygen was already used in another RPG. Sorry. All
right, so now Zaphod finally sees the lamp on Hylia Lake Island. Yeah, I said that right. Lake Hylia Island. There we go. I knew something sounded weird. As they're going to go head up to the hobo and get 20 more rupees and likely head to Zor and find the whole lot of nothing up that way. Xirtanul is following Zaphod's tracks through this way, and another thing that they always do is go straight into the race game. They never check it. They just go do it anyways. Their assumption is, you know what, when it pays out, it's going to be a time saved, and if it doesn't pay out, it's only an extra few seconds time lost. Maybe it's 6-7 seconds extra to just go straight into it. So it's kind of one of those things where not a bad idea, and especially when it pays off, and you know in that situation you need bombs, so it actually wasn't too bad of an idea.
I think that's definitely the safer strategy, is to actually go into the maze regardless of what it is, instead of checking it and having to double back just in case you get something good, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's been some times where I've seen, there was one runner where they went and thought it was a 10 arrow upgrade instead of silvers and never went back for it. And you know, in a race where I think they ended up being a master sword that I believe it ended up costing him the game. So that's kind of one of those things you got to be really careful. If you do not check, you got to make sure you actually know what that item is. And if you'd gone into the race just like Xirtanul did, there might have just been like, oh, hey, that actually is silver, so I'm going for it.
Picking up that big old Titan Smiths in the back of Sahasrarla's hut, though.
And 600 rupees. Holy smokes. So doesn't even go into Eastern, which at this point, with the items they have, knowing where the lamp is, I actually really like this play by Xirtanul. Knows that he's not going to be able to finish the dungeon. We have not seen a map check yet, but at this point, he doesn't need to go in there because he's got everything he needs to go into the Dark World. So I really like the play by Xirtanul there.
This is definitely a beautiful thing. Now, in order to get into this side of Dark World, you need either the Hammer and Power Glove or the Titan Smiths.
Yeah, and of course the Moon Pearl, which we got super duper early in this race.
Who needs that?
All right, we get a map check by Zaphod. It was Crystal 6 in Tower of Hera, Crystal 1 in Desert Palace, and the Green Pendant in Eastern. That's like the best place for the Green Pendant to be. And we get a Dark World map check by Xirtanul, and I did not get the chance to see what those were, actually. That was way fast. I saw Crystal and Turtle Rock, though.
So Swamp was a blue pendant, that's what I caught of it.